So see, if we have two object system, M1, M2, it can be spring block system moving on a smooth surface. It can be two objects which are going to collide inelastically, completely inelastically. So later they become one system, one object, move together. If it is having some initial velocity or any velocity at any time t, v1, v2, v1, v2, v. So when these two are given some velocity, generally they will be asking you question, what is the maximum compression or maximum extension in this spring. Then when these blocks, spring block system are moving like this, they will be moving in, let's say both are given velocity in this direction. So initially they might move this way. Let's say they were given velocity in opposite direction. So this, they'll be moving like this. If they were given velocities in this opposite direction, then they will start like this and move in any one direction depending on which direction is having higher momentum. This will have certain momentum, this will have certain momentum. Entire system will get a net momentum. If net momentum is in this direction, that momentum will remain as it is forever because the ground is smooth. Now the question they ask is, what is the maximum compression? So at some point of time the compression is becoming maximum, then released, then maximum, then released, and they are moving forward also. So here generally if we have a system like this in which there is a fixed end of the spring and this end is maybe moved with the help of the moment of block. Now in this case, if it is asked what is the maximum compression in this spring, what you will say, when this block moves here, it compresses the spring. Once this block comes to rest, it means it will not move further. So entire kinetic energy has converted into spring potential energy of the spring. So it means whatever kinetic energy we have, if it is completely converting into spring potential energy, it means it is maximum spring potential energy, it means maximum compression for this particular case. The same thing can we do here, half m1 v1 square, completely kinetic energy converted into potential energy of the spring. When you solve it, you will get maximum compression. So is it the correct way to solve? No. Why? Because here the system is impacted by some external agent also. Some external force is acting on it. So momentum can change. System can come to rest. Like here it is having how much momentum? mv. Here what is the momentum in the system? 0. But is it possible in this case, if it is kept on smooth surface, is it possible for this system to have entirely 0 momentum? No. Momentum is conserved because there is no net external force acting on it. So it means certain momentum will be there always, right? So now when we use the center of mass frame, or even without using center of mass frame also, when we derive that what is the maximum kinetic energy which can be extracted from the combination of two blocks and converted into some other energy, which can be anything, like here it will be spring potential energy, then that energy comes out as half m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 v1 minus v2, their relative velocity whole square. That is the energy which can be converted into any other form. Here it will be converted into half kx square. Now because it is maximum, we are writing x max. Same thing here. Here when these two are colliding, when they collide and they get stuck with each other, we say that the maximum amount of energy is lost in the form of heat due to collision. Can it lose entire energy? These two, can they lose entire energy, entire kinetic energy which they are possessing right now? No. Again, some momentum they will keep on carrying because this is again smooth floor. When they are colliding with each other, there are only internal forces. Externally on the combination of these two system of particle, there is no external force. The momentum will be there forever, and due to that momentum some kinetic energy will also be there forever. So only the remaining kinetic energy can be converted into any other thing, sound, light, whatever heat in that form it is getting released. So here also what is the maximum heat which is going to be lost? So loss is going to be half m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 v1 minus v2 whole square. From where it comes? To see this system, what I am saying, that this system will have certain momentum which cannot be changed. What momentum? The momentum which it was having initially. Or you can say, how do we write the momentum of the system? We can write velocity of center of mass. So let's say whatever is the initial velocity of center of mass, what is happening here? Whatever is the initial velocity of center of mass, that cannot be changed. So finally also, when apart from velocity of center of mass, they are not carrying any other component of velocity, that is the optimum condition during which they will be at minimum kinetic energy, and rest of the energy can be converted into other form. When we understand this from center of mass frame, it becomes much more easier. So what is going to happen finally? Finally, this one as well as this one will be moving with center of mass velocity, and that we will be seeing using conservation of angular momentum also. Initially angular momentum m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Finally, they all will be moving with a common velocity. At that moment, they are possessing minimum kinetic energy and can deliver maximum residual kinetic energy to other forms. So finally, they will be moving with some common velocity. What is that common velocity coming? m1 m2 plus m2 v2 by m1 v1 plus m2 v2 by m1 plus m2. Isn't it the velocity of center of mass? Yes or no? So when we take the difference of this energy, what is initial energy in the system? Kinetic energy in the system, half m1 v1 square, half m2 v2 square, minus how much energy is going to remain in the system? Half. This and this, both of them are moving with this common velocity. So when we find this difference, which is going to be converted into either loss or half k x max square, or if, imagine, if this is nitrogen at rest, this is alpha particle coming with certain velocity, and later they form certain other product. So then also, from the combination of nitrogen and alpha particle, what is the maximum energy you will be able to extract? This only, which will convert in which form? Binding energy of the energy released of the process. So this value comes out as this, half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square minus half m1 plus m2 v square. What is v? m1 v1 plus m2 v2 by m1 plus m2 whole square. When you use this, the formula ends up with this. So now when we have to find that what is the minimum kinetic energy which should be given to alpha particle. So whatever kinetic energy you give to alpha particle, this is alpha particle. So half m1 v1 square. Is it completely converting into the useful energy which is required? Either half k x max square or loss? No. What is the energy which is really converting? Not the half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. No. Half m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 v1 minus v2 square. Now when this is at rest, v1 is there, v2 is not there. So you'll get half m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 into v square.